Please welcome Dr. Jenny A. Barrow.
I'm hiding under my mother's bed as my father is pounding on the door. Boom, boom, boom. My heart is racing. I'm petrified about what will happen to my mother and me. So I shrink even smaller, hoping invisibility will keep us both safe. And in that moment, at only 5 years old, I make a silent vow. This will not be my life. When I turned 14, we left the Dominican Republic and moved to the United States, carrying this vow in my heart. I didn't speak English, I didn't understand the culture, and I didn't know the rules. Very quickly, the same survival instinct came back, and I began making myself invisible. At 22, I joined the corporate world, working in technology, and the same feeling followed me. I was deeply grateful for the opportunity. I was ambitious and willing to work hard, and still, in many rooms, I stayed quiet. I listened more than I spoke, and even when I had great ideas, I didn't always share them. For a long time, invisibility felt like the safest way to move through the world. It was something I learned for safety and carried with me longer than I realized. For many years, a silent question lived in the background of every decision I made. Am I gonna make it? Success felt urgent, and failure was not an option. So you work harder, you stay focused, and you do what you think you have to do. And you don't always stop to ask yourself what you truly want, because survival can feel more important than choice. Even when things look good on the outside, feeling invisible on the inside changes how you show up. You hesitate, and you hold back in rooms where your voice belongs. I know I'm not alone in this. Many of us understand exactly what it feels like to carry responsibility, pressure, and ambition all at once, and quietly wonder if we are really allowed to take up space. Going to night school was my way of putting keys in my pocket. I wanted to keep growing in my corporate career and never have an excuse for being turned down. At the time, I didn't think of it as a strategy. It was what I felt I had to do. So I worked during the day, and at night, I attended graduate school. I was learning new skills, of course, and at the same time, I was creating something even more meaningful: my belief in myself. That season taught me something powerful. Your belief grows when you give yourself proof. Every class I completed and every new skill I gained showed me that I was capable of so much more than what I had allowed myself to imagine. And slowly, something inside me began to change. I stopped seeing myself as someone who was only trying to survive. And I began to see myself as someone who had choices. That transition from survival to self-trust unfolded over time. I began to speak up more, and I stopped second-guessing every decision. I stopped waiting to be noticed, and I began showing up differently. Years later, I noticed a similar pattern in my client, Catherine. When she and I first met, on the outside, she looked like she had already made it. She was accomplished, respected by her peers, and performing at a high level as a leader. On the inside, she was holding a lot of pressure and one deep fear that she might never really make it in her career, and that if she chose wrong, she might never have the family she always wanted. So she stayed perfect. She stayed careful. She stayed in control. At first, what changed for Catherine was not her title or a promotion. It was her willingness to believe in herself enough to invest in herself in new ways. She began being more honest with herself about what she wanted. The more she trusted herself, the more agency she felt. She made decisions with more confidence, and she led with more clarity. And over time, her career and her personal life expanded in ways she once believed were out of reach. Today, after 26 years working in the corporate world and running my own business, I partner with Fortune 500 leaders like Catherine, who are building careers that look impressive on the outside and feel uncertain on the inside. And underneath it all, I recognize similar fears in all of us. For Catherine and for me, that shift didn't happen by waiting to belong first. It happened by the choices we made before everything felt certain. What I have learned over the course of my life is this. We often think that belonging comes first, that once we're finally seen and accepted, then we will believe in ourselves. For me, it worked the other way around. Belief came first, and belief by itself wasn't enough. I had to be willing to believe and invest in myself, even when I didn't have proof yet that it was going to work. Because no one gives you influence by their approval. You claim your influence when you decide that your growth matters enough to invest in it. So here's the choice I invite you to make. Only one small, honest step. I invite you to choose one place in your life right now where you have been waiting. Perhaps waiting to be noticed, or waiting to be chosen, or even waiting for someone else to validate what you already feel in your heart. And instead of waiting, I encourage you to take one step that signals, I believe in myself. Not a dramatic leap, one true step that says, I take myself seriously. That one step could be a conversation you've been putting off or an opportunity you have been avoiding. It's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about how you choose to show up for yourself. When I think over at my life, and I remember that scared little girl hiding under the bed to the woman I am today, the biggest shift was never about a title or a promotion or any accomplishment. It was the moment I stopped waiting to belong and began choosing to believe in my own potential. Now, that choice did not remove the fear. It changed who made the decisions. The fear may still follow us into bigger rooms and bigger opportunities, but it doesn't have to lead. Every meaningful life I've ever witnessed, including my own, begins when you decide that your life is worth the risk of believing in yourself and investing in who you are becoming. Thank you.